Streets of Fear presents Kansas City Iron and Shadows. I've always thought Quindaro Boulevard felt haunted, even before the chaos began. Late at night, the sodium vapor streetlights cast a sickly yellow glow over cracked asphalt and boarded-up storefronts. The old gym on North 10th Street was the only place on the block with a pulse, its music thumping loud enough to shake the windows of passing cars. This was where it all started. Jade, my ride or die, leaned against the counter in the makeshift lab we'd set up in the basement. Between us, we were two slabs of muscle, the kind that turned heads at the gym and raised eyebrows at competitions. We didn't just use steroids. We cooked up the hottest formula the city had ever seen. And this one was a game changer. D, you've seen the results, right? Jade asked, her eyes glinting as she held up a vial of our newest creation. It shimmered faintly under the fluorescent lights, leading to severe consequences as our clients devolve into zombie-like beings desperate for their next fix, ultimately resulting in their confinement and the haunting realization of their creation. Yeah, I said, gripping a nearby dumbbell. Kenny gained 15 pounds of pure muscle in a day. It's insane. That's why they're lining up to buy it. Everyone wants overnight results. They'll inject this stuff religiously. She was right. Our formula delivered results in 24 hours. The catch? You had to inject it every morning, or your body would spiral into withdrawal so extreme it would make you weak, frail, almost zombie-like. Jade and I kept a private stash for ourselves, ensuring we'd never face that nightmare. Business was booming, but our secret ingredient was running dangerously low. Demand skyrocketed and supply plummeted. The key compound in the steroid was nearly impossible to source. Our supplier in Chicago went silent, and we hadn't been able to replicate it in the lab. What do we tell them? Jade asked one night as we sat in the basement. Her hands were shaking, though whether from fear or overuse of our own product, I couldn't tell. Ultimately resulting in our confinement and the haunting realization of our creation. Nothing. We keep selling until we're out, I said, my jaw tight. Then we disappear. And when they start turning? She pressed. I didn't answer. I didn't have to. We both knew what would happen. It started in the gym. Kenny, our poster boy for the formula, came in late one night, barely able to walk. His skin was pale, his veins black and visible beneath it. He tried to lift, but the barbell slipped from his fingers like they were made of butter. I ran out, he croaked, collapsing onto the bench. Others soon followed, their bodies deteriorating as though they were aging decades overnight. But they weren't just weak, they were angry. They knew where the injections came from, and they wanted more. Word spread fast. The streets near the gym filled with crowds of people, all gaunt and glassy-eyed, dragging themselves toward us. They weren't entirely human anymore, not with the way they moved, not with the way their voices growled. Zombies. Jade and I barricaded ourselves in the gym, syringes of the formula in our hands. We could hear the mob pounding on the doors, shrieking for their fix. This is bad, D, Jade whispered, her voice tight with panic. We've got our stash. We'll ride it out until they, burn out, I said. But even as I spoke, I knew it was a lie. This wasn't going away. The barricade broke before dawn. They poured in, dozens of them, eyes wild, bodies trembling. Kenny led the charge, his once powerful frame reduced to a hollow shell. He looked at me with something like betrayal. You did this to us, he rasped, and the others echoed his words. We tried to run, clutching our syringes, but the mob was everywhere, their skeletal hands clawing at us. Jade screamed as they grabbed her, and I couldn't stop them. I couldn't stop any of it. Hours later, Jade and I were found, huddled in a storage room, shaking but alive. The gym was destroyed, the mob gone, but it wasn't over. We're in an asylum now, locked away from the world. The doctors say it's steroid-induced psychosis, but we know the truth. We still have our stash, hidden in the walls of our room. We inject every morning, keeping the weakness at bay. But the voices have started, the whispers of the mob we created.
Take suffer.